Alright, I wanted to make a video about why I don't have Asperger's syndrome in the field of autism. It's the high functioning aspects of autism. It's people who are able to communicate, although they have impediments, which can include repetitive behavior. And it can go into a variety of different things. Inability to give eye contact, hypersensitivity to sensory things. Going to Vegas would be an awful thing for a person who's an aspie. I was sort of diagnosed as having Asperger's, although I've seen therapists who say that I seem to have it, but they won't diagnose me. We went to the criteria of the Asperger's traits. One of the things that I do have that would include being aspie is I do have sensory overload issues. And a lot of that has to stem, I think, from my fear of crowds in settings which there's not one place that they can look at, not one vantage point. And that's my biggest fear. I work at a music venue though, so I guess it's not that huge of a fear, but there is always one vantage point, so everyone looking at the band. If it was just one club with a dance night, it probably would freak me out a little bit more. People have argued that Asperger's is not a disorder, it is just a way that people are different. However, I think societally we are, or people with Asperger's, I still on some kind of subconscious level consider myself having this because people have said it that I've had it for a long time. But anyway, I think that they put us on kind of a different place. It's the same kind of thing with people who are extroverted versus introverted. People who are introverted are there's this kind of embedded shame about having qualities that are not considered the norm, which is the outgoingness, socialness, the extroversion. And I feel like the same is true with Asperger's. I'm going to be going over the diagnostic criteria, and there are things that I have that are attributed to having Asperger's, and there's things that aren't. And I'm going to go through each of these traits. So there's a qualitative impairment in social interaction as manifested by at least two of the following, and that's one is marked impairments in the use of multiple nonverbal behaviors such as eye-to-eye gaze, facial expressions, body posture, and gestures to regulate social interaction. There's the failure to develop peer relationships appropriate to developmental level, a lack of spontaneous seeking to share enjoyment, interests, achievements with other people, a lack of showing, bringing, or pointing out objects of interest to other people, and a lack of social or emotional reciprocity. All right, so what I have, and it's to me it's like a varying level, because I feel like a lot of introverted fives like me have a lack of social or emotional reciprocity. And why I have that is not because I'm a dick, it's because I don't feel confident in showing social or emotional reciprocity. It's kind of an issue that I've been working with by trying to be nicer. Yeah. Let's see. Sharing enjoyment with other people. Let's see. Bringing objects of interest to other people. I mean, I am making this video. I feel like that's in some way sharing the interest with someone else. I mean, I tutor, that's sharing an interest. All right, so we have nonverbal behaviors, eye-to-eye contact, facial expression, body posture, blah, blah, blah. I, in a way that is like sensory kind of stuff. I sometimes don't give eye contact because it really like kind of affects me. Like it almost makes this like kind of red light appear, almost like kind of internally. Like I get really like nervous or anxious, and I've seen like videos of like adults like dealing with autistic children in which they try to like get them to like make eye contact. They'll like stare at them in the face, and that would freak the fuck me out. I would not be happy about that. That is something, if I was ever going to be teaching someone with autism, which I've taught people with autism before. I mean, I tutor people with autism, and I I think that's really intrusive. I would never will someone to force them to look at me in order to like correct some silly behavior. I think that like it's painful. I mean, if the person wants it, then go for it. But I would never force someone to stare me in the eyes. I think that they would turn to stone. Okay, number 2. All right. Restricted, repetitive, stereotyped patterns of behavior, interests, and activities as manifested by at least one of the following. Encompassing preoccupation with one or more stereotyped and restricted patterns of interests that is abnormal either in intensity or focus. Apparently inflexible to adherence to specific non-function routines or rituals. Stereotyped and repetitive motor mannerisms, i.e. hand or finger flapping, or twisting or complex whole body movements. I rock back and forth. I've done that since I was a kid. So that's actually one thing that like would diagnose me and has been diagnosed with me with the Asperger's. Persistent preoccupation with parts of objects. I do have like I do have preoccupations with things. I don't think I talk about them for like a long time, where it becomes this like long like monologue, where I sort of like hold people captive with my long conversation. I have coworkers who are like that at this music venue I work at. I am not like that, but I understand. I kind of understand that. I feel like the rocking back and forth is the only thing I could really like speak for, and that's because it's like a self-soothing behavior. I've have issues with letting people know my emotional states. My parents, when I was growing up, and so rocking back and forth was the self-soothing behavior. I don't think I have any significant impairments. I mean, maybe, I guess. Everyone has impairments here and there, but I don't think that, like, I would consider any of them significant. But I think that it translates to something within the 5 realm, introverted thinking. I think that there's some kind of parallel with both of them that can be explored, because I think that a lot of 5s could be considered in the autism or Asperger's realm, but probably can't be diagnosed like me. So, but it's interesting. There might be some kind of like personality parallel between this disorder and the 5 Enneagram. That'll do it. Thank you very much for watching this video, and goodbye. Watch my other Enneagram videos if you'd like.